Good day. This is Phil, the Think Doctor, and I start that way out with about 1,000 people a day in a group we call the Morning Moments, getting encouraging, life-changing message out. Here at Solem, we offer people a solid foundation for life, solid life foundations, healthy and safe relationships, generation of greatness, and we know when we do that, it makes a difference in individuals and in the community. What's our vision? Here's where we go. Fixing fractured families, family stabilization and unification, lifelong dads, kids need them. It comes down to fixing fractured families. In the United States, we have a fractured family situation, but communication, healthy relationships, moving violence aside, those kind of things, helping people who are re-entering life, re-enter it with greatness and goodness and strength, trying to overcome issues that have plagued them for a while. That's what we do, and we believe that's the essence of community transformation, is giving a better life example. Our mission, how do we do it? Through community education and life coaching, we assist fractured families in repairing, restoring, and reunifying strong families and staying stable and growing stronger. Through discipleship and church plant, we lead a sustainable 100-year solution ongoing. Through leadership sharing of approaches with other faith-based initiatives, we give impetus to change nationwide and Mexico. That's a lot for just a few people to accomplish. What's it all about? We know by research that teens and youth, one of the things that happens is what we call adverse childhood experiences, through abuse, through violence, through separation of the family, through adults who are going through traumas and mental illnesses and time in jail. All of these things affect sexual assault. All of these, all of this anger affect the health and well-being of our youth as they grow up, even into their latter years, and even impacts how much probability you're going to have for heart disease and lung disease and cardiovascular issues. It's amazing. We also know by research, when you build resiliency into anyone, then our comeback power, our ability to handle those stresses becomes stronger and stronger, and those effects can be backed off. I'm wearing on my neck the Serenity Prayer, the way it was written in 1932 by a pastor named Reinhold Niebuhr. And here's what he wrote. Here's the plaque version. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, the courage to change what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now listen closely to the way it was written in 1932 by this outstanding pastor. God, grant me the grace to accept with serenity the things I cannot change, the courage to do the things that need to be changed, and the ability to distinguish the one from the other, living one day at a time, enjoying each moment, accepting hardship as the pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, knowing that if I surrender to his will, all things will work out well, that I might be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever in the next. Now that's a powerful, powerful stance. And that's the stance of everything we do, from working with people in 12-step and addiction recovery and Celebrate Recovery, to our work with reentry, with probationers and parolees, life skills and parenting and anger resolution. And here's what we're looking for. A few years back, my father-in-law passed away, and my wife and I were in Southwest Oklahoma getting ready for that funeral and putting things together. And I'd gone out for a run in the heat of the summer. It wasn't the heat, but it was pretty hot. And I was about 7 miles out and came back up to this hill, and I was really kind of breathing hard. And I came to this one little spot on that hill where these rocks were in Southwest Oklahoma, almost desert. And I noticed those flowers down there in the middle of those rocks. In the middle of the rocks, in the middle of the hardship, in the middle of everything going wrong, here were flowers. And we have that vision for people's lives, that they can be blossoms in the rocks. They may have rocks and issues and things going on, but we can always blossom in the rock. And then this picture next to it is our training center in Gainesville, Texas. Now, we're a faith-based training center, and there's a Hope Connection also is a congregation church plant, so that there's sustainable life change. Not just come in for a class, but have a place that you can go for biblical counseling, have a place that you can go for services and worship and fellowship and community connection. And we had a storm just rip up our campus this year. Damaged every roof on our training center, our auditorium, the house that I stay in down there, our shed out back, tore out trees, blew up our sign. What a mess. But God took that rocky, crazy situation and has restored our facility much better than it has ever been. More beautiful inside and outside. You'll see that in some of the pictures. We have lighting now. You know, we were able to get maybe $80,000 worth of work and repair done and restoration for about $60,000. And the insurance company covered all that and just made things beautiful and has brought a blossom in the rock. And I want you to know, we want to protect those blossoms. I'm appealing you today to help me protect those blossoms. Just recently, this is a picture of 11 different churches. There's pastors and ministers here from 11 different churches. There's representatives from the state of Texas CPS, or Child Protecting Services, and we're working together to change families and help families in the community in a program called Adopt a Family, working together with state and churches. This is the kind of leadership that we're trying to provide. This is in our training, our renewed training facility. All these people came together to do something new. I want you to know this is what you support: community transformation. Here's some pictures of our team. These people are people who've come from addiction, from alcoholism, from abuse, from, I call it the hell zone. Most of these have spent prison time, significant prison time. Most of these have multiple felonies in their background. They're beautiful, wonderful people now outreaching and changing and doing things in the community. This is a community event where our people who've come through are now out helping other people. These same people are going to be starting a kids Bible club in a local called Novo, in a local apartment complex. These same people are starting a STEPS program for intensive recovery to come and break that pattern of alcohol, but do it inside the community. Not everybody can go to a facility and lock in for 30, 90 days, but we're going to do 90-day recovery programs to break those patterns. Look at the love, look at the passion, look at the joy that they're giving out because of your partnership and your support. This is just a few. I don't take pictures of our probationer classes because that's private. Now, those others you just looked at are ones who've come through and been a part of us, and they're more than willing, and you'll see other pictures at the end of this of their life story and some things they want to share with you. Here are some people who are being trained to be trainers. These two, Carla and Christy, are being trained to be trainers. They're going to turn around. They're from another church in the community, have come in. And look what Carla says. She says, I encourage everyone to learn wonderful communication skills with parents, children, siblings, coworkers. This class is for you. Another class begins in January. She's already inviting people to come in. She's going to be a part of that training for trainers so we can expand. We have additional support from the county now that's enabling us to reach many more than what we've reached before. We've been running about 60 to 80. I hope to reach over 100 individuals in reentry and probation and parole, both adult and juveniles next year. It's about community impact. Solem is about community impact. It's not just about those workshops that we do. It's not just about working with teenagers who are on probation or adults who are on probation. We do all that not with families who are trying to put their family back together. It's about all the cultures and backgrounds of the community at different times coming together in prayer and fellowship and learning. Look at this. Look at the beauty of all of these people. These are pictures taken on our campus of just things that have gone on in the last few months. Here's what results look like. You need results for your partnership and your support. In 2014, we came down and started doing adult life skills, and 37 graduated. There's a total now over the composite of 5 years of 287. Teen life skills, we weren't doing that in the beginning. There's a composite now of 30. Parenting, 2 in 2014. And that's just in this county. We were doing parenting in Oklahoma City, and there was a lot more, but this is just North Texas numbers. 77 total. Other workshops: mental health first aid, anger resolution, rejection, depression, family. 93. We do a lot of one-on-one these days in smaller groups that we were unable to do in the beginning just because we were gaining steam. Look at these numbers: 77 2018, a composite of 93. Community-based events, we had 59 in 2017. 160. We're doing weekly, 2 and sometimes 3 times a week, community-based events and outreaches in North Texas, Gainesville. Kids is an area we're just not doing what we need to be doing, right? We'll be doing 40 to 50 to maybe 100 kids in 2019. It's time to get that going. Training trainers. We have 6 trainers in training. We're going to be releasing them. Those people can do as much as I do, each one of them. If they only do 10%, think of that. If they only do 10%, then it's going to increase what we're doing by 100%. Morning Moments is something we started at in a couple of years ago, and it has just exploded. There's over 550 in North Texas in this daily encouragement group, getting direction for life on a regular basis. So I want you to look at all of that. And you know, back in 2014, we were impacting about 40 people in these workshops. Now it's 154, 494 people. And we're looking for that to jump up to 700. This is results. Expanding, training trainers, opening workshops. We started with life skills, added parenting, added teen life skills, added anger resolution, added mental health first aid, things that all fit together to help the community become healthy. And in 2019, we'll be providing leadership for the Ministerial Association for the next 2 years to help more and more churches get involved doing the same thing. It's not just about us. It's about faith-based community working with government and education and other areas to make something happen. We need your support. Rural America is dying. It's coming apart at the seams. It's the new deep urban. And the faith community can come in and make such a big difference. We want to be an example. I don't even have listed on here that we launched our online training center, and that's some of these numbers. And we'll be able to reach at least this many people, if not twice as many every year, through the online training center as those courseworks on depression, on overcoming rejection, on family vision and potential. All of these things are put together. So here's what it looks like in Cook County. Novos launched with Bible Club, Steps Recovery, Adult Reentry, Life Skills, Family Parenting, Anger Resolution, Media and Community Outreaches, Ministerial Alliance, Juvenile Relationships, Hope Connection Christian Community Center. People coming in from the apartment complexes, Bella Vista, Watchdogs in the Schools, Probation, Boys and Girls Club, At-Risk Families, Parole, Inmates, Churches, Juvenile Probation. All of this coming in with teams of healing healers reaching out. This makeup is scalable and it's autonomous. Each individual group in different counties, we want to get into other counties and let people do the same thing in those counties, but they need training materials. They need training. And they're going to need encouragement and coaching to get relationships going with local government, local education. It's sustainable because it's faith community based. It's integrated with business and government, education, community. It's evidence-based. Our programs are evidence and research-based. They're expandable. They can go online. They can go on site. They can be done in many different ways. It's about building resiliency. It's about community transformation. And I need your help. You might be able to give $5 a month or $50 or $500. You might be able to give a one-time gift of $5,000. We have a matching grant for $10,000 for what comes in between now and the end of the year for new givers. I'm pleading with you, please come in and help us. These people need your help. The United States rural community needs your help. And we have the great joy to be ones helping. I love you. God bless you. I love you because the great love Jesus loves me. And I hope you understand and feel that. Texas Health is right now working with Novo Kids.
About 4 years ago, I found myself at the lowest point in my adult life. I was suffering with depression from multiple occurrences. I had suffered child loss. My stepdaughter was battling cancer, and my mother, my only support system, had moved away. One thing after another, I was feeling more and more alone and helpless. I was questioning why I was going through what I was going through. In October 2013, I found myself arrested for the first time, and again in November. Again, I asked myself, why is this happening to me? Little did I know it was all God's plan. I knew it was God when I first took Pastor Phil's life skills class. I heard God answer me, this is why you are here, child. From that court-ordered class, I found the Father that I had never had. I found rest, I found change, I found family.
Jimmy works with us in the STEPS program. Here's what Jimmy said. I was broken. I had to serve 10.5 years in prison. I chose to get my anger from losing my mom and my own selfishness. God's blessed me and helped me defeat my past. I took Phil's anger class as well as the AA program and helped me think differently so God can continue to grow me to this day. This is exciting. Allie is my assistant, and Allie came in about 1.5 years ago. Here's what Allie says. I'll never stop believing people can change, and I will never stop trying to help those who are struggling. I used to think I was too far gone for anyone's help, that I was unlovable and unworthy. I never smiled. At my lowest, I would wear long sleeves when it was 95 degrees outside to hide the track marks and bruises on my arms, because I was so ashamed of who I was. I didn't know how to stop or if I really even wanted to. After coming out of prison, I was this anxious, lost, hopeless mess. Because I didn't know what my life would end up like, I was just as anxious and hopeless as when I was on the streets. I smiled so people wouldn't ask what was wrong. Now I smile a real smile. Now I have peace even during my struggles. Life can still be really hard and some days just suck. But there's hope. There is and always will be hope. I know even on my darkest days, and believe me, they still happen, that everything will somehow work out, and I have people in my life who really care about me. Without God, I can honestly say I don't know where I would be, because I was 100% Him that brought me where I am. He gifted me to be part of an amazing congregation, a wonderful team at work, and gave me a life that before I never thought I deserved. Because of Him that I have hope and can help others find hope too. Tori is an active ball of fire helping everywhere. Here's what she says. I've been on both sides. I fell away from God and went to a dark side of hurting myself through addiction and toxic relationships. The guy reached down and pulled me from the pit. I know He has a purpose and plan for me. For that, I'm excited, grateful, and live in peace, faith, and joy. Riley is here almost every day helping in some aspect. Listen to Riley's story. The kind of person I used to be is the complete opposite of how I am now. I was very emotional, lost my cool over every little thing that didn't go my way. I was insecure, depressed, anxious, paranoid, thought people were always talking behind my back. Even though all of this was going on inside of me, most people still liked me, and I never understood why. I guess I was just good at hiding my true feelings. I never gave a second thought to this way of living. After all, everyone I knew was the same way, so I blended into this world quite nicely. But the worst part of my life was my drinking alcohol. I drank more than anyone I knew, and I was good at hiding it, and I seemed to have no problems except for the multiple DWIs I had, the family problems that it created, the financial strains that it caused. Let's just say booze was my best friend. Then it turned on me. It completely destroyed my life and my family's lives. I was convicted of 3 felony DWIs in less than 1 year. Spent 27 months incarcerated. Hope seeing Pastor Phil helped me change my life. If it weren't for life skills and parenting classes and Pastor Phil coming to see me in jail, sending me biblical information, I would have never found God. I know God existed, but I wanted Him to work on my terms. This doesn't work and never did. The classes I took helped me to think differently, and Pastor Phil's guidance, I was able to let God come into my life as He is and not who I wanted Him to be. Now I wake up every day and thank God for this day, for my family and for those around me. I know I have a solid foundation of how to live life. I don't have to be depressed. I'm no longer dependent on alcohol. This is my people, my place, my time. 5 o'clock. Alrighty. You ready?
Yeah.
So, Danny, we're sitting here talking about, you and I have been, you've been a part of Solem 4 years, came through about 4 years ago, And now you've been going for the last 2.5 years. How long have you been coming in and helping with the sewing
This is
classes?
class number 8.
Class number 8, and each one of those is 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of investment. How come you're making all that investment?
I like to see people change. I like to see help people.
Have you seen that? Are you seeing people change?
I see it, and I learn something new every time.
So what kind of changes do you see in the people that come through? That eight, wow. What do we have, about an average of 10 to 15? So you've seen 100 people come through, maybe more?
250 at least.
Yeah. So what kind of changes do they have?
If 5 get it, they change their lifestyle, they change their appearance, they change they keep their jobs, they're paying their bills, they're communicating better with their families and their long lost families, and they're putting them all together, and they're making their life work, and I can relate to that.
So even going back and connecting with family that they've disconnected with.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? When you said you could relate to that?
I can relate. I come in here angry, and I didn't want to be here, and my life was upside down, and I was struggling with probation and jobs and all that stuff, and the jobs are horrible around here sometimes, and I worked through it all, and I've kept my job for 4 years, and I've almost doubled my salary in a 4-year period, and I completed my probation, felony probation, 2 years early, and I went to court, and I've fought for my little girl, and I've got my temporary custody of her.
Sharp, you're having a lot of fun with that.
Oh yeah.
So what else in your life? What else have you been able to do that maybe you weren't doing before that you're enjoying today? You talk about your job. Your job's going okay. You're making a lot more.
I've learned how to communicate a lot better with people and other angry people and their problems that aren't my problems. It's that conversation that's some people don't want to have, and I'm hot-headed. I've been hot-headed my whole life, and I've renounced violence through my recovery, through my first year of this whole thing in probation, and I've stuck to it. And it kind of varies because I have to use it. I have to stop and think what the consequences are. And
right.
5 years ago, I didn't think about nothing. I just did it, and my life's a lot better. Even my worst problem is I don't have a heater in my pickup, and people have lots of problems.
Right. So if you were going to talk to somebody and say, you need to get involved in this, what would you say to them to convince them to get involved?
It works if you listen and halfway apply it, because I have ADD. It's hard for me to really concentrate sometimes in class, and some days I get it, some days I don't. And if you can just apply it, because some people pick it right up and then use it a little bit, and then the rest of it just go one end out the other. And I used to be that way. I used not listen for nothing. I would not listen to what anybody said. I would just hear them. And normally it was a smart ass comment.
So it's worth it, even though that person may not appear to be listening. You think it's still worth it to get them through, to talk to them, to work with them?
If you can work with them and they keep their job, or if they're communicating with their child better, or even bringing themselves just to move up in the world as far as a human being, or even caring for somebody else.
Right.
It's all worth it. It's all worth the time. I've seen at least 5 people out of every class just really get it and take off. And a lot struggle, but like I said, some of them get it, some of them don't. Some of them don't want to change. You can't make nobody.
You can't help them.
No.
But sometimes, we've been doing this so long together. Sometimes they surprise us.
They do.
Right. Somebody's in there, and they've been here for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I'm going, we're not getting anywhere. And then in the last night, they walk up, and they tell me, and they got it. And I'm going, okay.
Some people aren't very outspoken, so what I do with class, would you know that I try to call some of them out and get them to talk, get them to open up, and they've been doing it pretty well. I pick a few, and a lot of these people in this town. I grew up here. I was raised here. It's the only town I've ever been in trouble. I know a lot of people here.
Right.
Some of them good, some of them bad. Some of them, they're all worth saving.
But just like you said, they're all worth saving. Everybody's got a chance,
right,
if we give people a chance.
If I wouldn't take this class, if I wouldn't have had it, if I just took it somewhere else, I would have still been angry. And when all that stuff would happen to me 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I probably did something really stupid. I was like, and I worked through that and thank God I didn't. I bought lunch for graduation to everybody. We've had some big feasts and good food here.
And this one's going to be a big one.
And everybody chips in. You have somebody that's don't even look up in class, and they'll show up with their food that they cooked for this class.
Right.
They did their part, which is sometimes hard to do. Sometimes people don't have the money to go buy something or have the stuff to make it at home to bring it, but they still find it.
Yeah, I think you mentioned a lot of that too. By the end of it, people they own it. They really, it's theirs. It's not a class they're taking.
They've went through it. They're taking care of their parents. They're taking care of their vehicles. They will come in here wearing smelly clothes, stinking, and by the third or fourth class, they've bathed. They've got clean clothes on.
And we don't ever say anything about that.
Nobody says anything about that. You can just watch these people change. And like I said, I didn't see it the first class. I came back to second class. I changed myself for the first class that I had to take. But you can just watch them. I don't have the vocabulary to explain that, but you can see it.
Start taking a little more pride in who they are and having confidence that if I do something, it can make a difference.
It can.
They go out and do their homework, and oh my gosh, something works out at home that hadn't been working for.
Right. And it's made a difference in me and my mother's relationship over the last year.
Right. Anything else we want to throw out there?
It works.
It works.
It works.
It works.